About 2 years ago, Parker Schnabel decided to take a big risk on a promise he made to himself. A $15 million one in Dominion Creek. This is in the endless wilderness of Klondike where people's fortunes can make or break in an instant with a single shovel's turn. For this particular bet, something extremely important was at risk, and the auxiliary dangers were even greater. I'm going to say that the tough ground of the Klondike was waiting for a brave young miner. Let's begin the story. The story starts at a tough place called the Money Pit, which was much bigger than their earlier tasks on the Indian River. The job was hard, the problems were big, and the costs had gone up so much more than before. Parker, with his big ideas, was moving at full speed because he wanted to win. This situation was going to cost him a lot of money. There was a high chance it might make him a real Klondike king. On the other hand, it might also cause him to think about his losses. I think that's quite a gamble. The pressure was noticeable. Parker's projects were at risk then because a big debt had come during prosperity. Going from having a full bank account to facing the worries of mining makes it clear how close success is in a hard place like the Klondike. The worry about running out of money troubles everyone involved. I don't think I could stomach such a risk. Parker Schnabel's brave decision to buy the Dominion Creek claim was like a big gamble with nature. It's exciting and risky at the same time. It's a high-stakes game. The $15 million is just a small bit of money, and as spring comes along, it becomes very high spending. It's a race against time and money, and Parker realized that time was running out. He had to finish it fast if he wanted to achieve his goal. The Dominion Creek claim was expected to be a large gold deposit, maybe giving 80,000 gold ounces or even more. That could be over $160 million in wealth. The big money was a strong magnet that made Parker want to get into the very core of the bet. But, they say, having big rewards also means facing even bigger dangers. I think he's quite courageous and we should be inspired by his risk-taking. By the third week of the season, Parker had a big turning point to deal with. The price of reducing this pay point was very high. It was like spending too much money that could break his goals. Thousands of dollars were going into the dirt, but no gold was coming out. This place was not making money for anyone. The challenges were daunting. A big step was reaching the bedrock, but melting was an even bigger challenge that they had to face. 1 foot a week for 10 weeks in all, the time was running down fast, and the money issues got worse. It got really infuriating as time passed because the amount of gold underground was not helpful when there were money problems. For Parker Schnabel, it was a big moment to succeed or fail. The Dominion Creek claim could be a source of gold, but it was also tough to manage money there. The hopes for a big empire in Klondike were in danger, while the worries about money problems kept growing. Parker's brave effort may turn out to be the next winning story in Klondike territory, but it might also end up being a warning about money lost in the rough place outside. The future of Parker's big $15 million bet in the center of Dominion Creek won't be known until later. I think he might make it. As time passed, Parker Schnabel had a big problem to solve. He thought the answer could be in the past, among the old things left by miners from the Klondike Gold Rush of 1896. These early explorers, with not-so-good digging tools, had left behind gold that could be worth a lot. This made it a possible treasure chest for Parker to check out. The plan was easy and well thought out. Parker wanted to get gold from the untouched waste near Gold Run Creek. His hope came from the idea that Gold Run Creek, famous for its gold during the gold rush, would bring in quick cash. The chance of finding gold in these leftover rocks was Parker's sign of hope, a way to earn money without doing a lot of hard work from mining. Parker decided to check if this plan worked by running a test of leftovers through a small tumbler. I believe testing is quite necessary before taking any large risks. Each pail of waste rocks meant the hope of locating gold that had been hidden for more than 10 years. As the action started, everyone could feel the energy. The buckets from old times were worked on with excitement. They moved fast through the small drum machine because they needed to find gold fast. The urgent task was to do so before a big money problem happened. Parker and his team added a little humor to the serious feeling. They talked about drinking and aging on a lighter note that made everyone feel like they were part of a team. The fun conversation made the already serious situation feel lighter. The last bit of the task was filled with guessing and easy bets. The gold in the waste was the best thing to get, and people thought it might be anywhere from 190 to 240 milligrams. When they measured the stuff, it felt heavy. Then the stress got really high and excitement was at its maximum. I myself am quite anxious to know the result. The discovery of 226 milligrams of gold was a source of comfort and happiness. Parker's bet on the old waste rock had been... Parker makes $364,000 in gold after getting rookie operator to move Slucifer. Parker, who had a lot of knowledge, kept showing off his accomplishments all these years. Not long ago, he did something even more amazing. He made $364,000 in gold by getting a new operator to move the Slucifer. The project already owed a huge $15 million, and Parker didn't know how to get out of this mess. There were daily costs and pressing repairs that needed to be done. There was some hope in the idea of getting a $160 million payday in the Dominion, but there were many unknowns along the way. It became clear when he admitted that the whole thing was making him feel pretty worried. He felt a little uneasy for the first time in a few years. He wasn't alone, though, which was good. His team would be there for him no matter what. To save the working bodies, Tyson had to take on everything. He got permission to use the mine from Ken Tatlow and Stuart Schmidt, and then began the impossible job of making the experience great again. No one expected the first cut to be so bad, and it took a lot longer than anyone thought it would. As soon as Parker realized how important it was, the pressure rose. He thought Tyson would be able to get up soon. The determination of Parker stayed strong, even though the work to prepare the new spot was hard. He went on to say that while he was getting El Dardo ready, he thought he had a lot of time. But when he was getting the next plant pad ready, he realized he didn't. As Parker dealt with the problems at El Dorado, everyone was left wondering if his unwavering determination would help him get through the tough times and find the gold stores that could make his mining project a success. Parker and Tyson were both involved in the El Dorado. Moving the wash plant at the El Dorado cut was a huge task that turned some important events in Tyson's life. They had everything they needed except time, because the process had to be done by a certain date. The due date for this job was Sunday, and if it was completed successfully, it would be able to stay alive. The plot jumbled up money problems, practical issues, and the almost constant search for the jackpot at Dominion into a mess of problems that needed to be carefully handled. The financial situation added another level of difficulty to the story. The operation, which was already a financial puzzle, was done with the worry of possible bills and the costs of running the business. As I watch them, I can't help but wonder, will this smart move help them find the gold mines they were looking for? Or will it be a big mistake on the crazy road of gold mining? At some point in this nail-biting story, you couldn't help but wonder, would Parker Schnabel's huge risk pay off? Or would his growing financial responsibilities and practical problems make it impossible for him to reach his goal of finding a gold mine? Dominion is a world where gold rules and fortunes can change in an instant. Parker Schnabel found himself in a very bad spot. Now is the time for the dream of the unreachable gold to change. Along with it came hard times financially, so the business could stay open. The heat had almost made this area its home. It makes me wonder what it's like to be ruled over. The answer is as easy as the question, but it beautifully describes the harsh conditions these miners have to work in every day. The word Domian means sovereign, and the people who were looking for treasure buried in its land often tell it what its rules are. Another look at the area points to the harshness that is hidden by the light. Parker and his team's determination should definitely be praised. Recently, the weather has gone up, which has raised the bar for what is acceptable. This seemingly normal talk showed how hard these people's lives were. They had to work from dawn until dusk in the hot sun. The next step was to sluice there, but that wasn't official yet. As the thought of starting the sluicing process set in, there was a sense of excitement in the air. After some time, they said that sluicing wouldn't happen because they needed to get better at it first before moving the business. The team was eager to start sluicing, but first, they had to make some strategic choices. There was a lot of tension in the gold mining business because Tico, who was making efforts to make things run more smoothly, set a hard goal. As the order echoed through the mining site, the story unfolded quickly. Tico wanted the plant to begin buzzing before morning. The attention then turned to Tyson, whose scary job it was to move Slucifer around on a pole that wasn't stable. Tyson had to make up Slucifer out of a leaning stick he had lying around. The language used made it clear that the business was sloppy and rushed, even if no one knew how to make learning staff. Putting pressure on Tyson became an important part of the story, a major source of tension that gave the story more depth. To move the Slucifer, you had to have a steady hand and a lot of skill that you learned over time. Tyson had to deal with a lack of experienced hands while working on a tough job. Alec and Liam helped out the last time, and it looked like they were going to drag Lucifer while Evan Kurtz, who was just an operator and didn't know how to move a wash plant, moved Lucifer. The moving of the wash plant was complicated by the fact that parts had to be slung up to the sluicer and then pulled down to the new pad by the 750. The main reason it was hard to do was because changing wash plants was hard to do when there were already few hands available. As Tyson and Evan took on the job of moving the pieces of sluicer to its new location, the story took an interesting turn. It wasn't just a jump that was being planned, it was a symbolic risk in the dangerous world of gold mining. Once sluicer was taken apart piece by piece, sharing could be seen as both a risky move and a game of chance. People who watched this story grow as a dynamic journey had to think about what would happen with the operation and the luck that was going on at the same time. Everything that was done in the world of gold mining had the power to change the whole course of the season, even sluicer's seemingly random jump. The 45-ton wash plant, sluicer, that held the promise of $364,000 in gold hung over their heads. Tyson and his team had to carefully move sluicer so that the process would go as planned. To get to its new wash plant pad, sluicer had to go up a steep ramp, which was hard to do because of the environment. Tyson used the 750 excavator, which was the best one on site at the time, to help carry the heavy Lucifer up the hill because he knew it was a period piece. As the story goes on, there is an amazing scene of bravery as they try to get around their opponent. But behind it all is the dangerous operation. The shot was tense because of the way the land was angled and how rude the Washington plant was. The wash plant started to slowly but surely rise because Tyson knew how to use everything he had at the time in a strategic way. From the first few steps toward the wash plant, you could feel the stress in the story, and Tyson's main point made the already difficult task even harder. He said that his bucket would be used as a small wrench. He talked about how you need to be able to adapt and be creative when you run into problems you didn't expect. At this point, everyone is almost in pain from the fight and can feel the strain of the hard mental and physical work that needs to be done to get the sluicer where it needs to be. Tyson's smart use of the bucket as a makeshift crowbar showed how important it was to be able to think quickly and change to survive in the unpredictable world of gold mining. So the operation as a whole relied on the team, and how well they did in this last stage was crucial to achieving the overall goal of a successful season in the Dominion. If this last step is completed successfully, not only will the difficult task be over, but Parker Schnabel will also have the chance to reach his big season goal. The team's ability to deal with the difficulty of this important configuration determined whether the whole operation succeeded or failed. As soon as the work was done, the wash plant set firmly on the pad, giving everyone a sense of readiness and accomplishment. The construction of the conveyor and the hopper feeder was a big deal in and of itself. It was a clear sign that gold processing was about to start. After following this high-stakes operation through all of its changes and surprises, I couldn't help but feel satisfied. There was a promise of gold worth $364,000 off in the distance. The problems were solved, and now everyone was waiting for the next part of Parker Schnabel's story. This move could change everything for Parker. It could get him a big payday and help him beat the challenges of gold digging in Dominion. After finding $364,000 in gold, he was making smart decisions, like letting a new operator move the sluicer, which was the most important job. Using sluicer and Gold Rush has had a big effect on the show and the people who watch it. Slucifer's demonstration of cutting-edge technology shows how the gold mining business has changed over time. The time was running out, and every second counted as they looked for the hard-to-find gold that would decide whether the mission succeeded. With his team, Rick envisioned a finger trap, a frame equipped with 8 metal fingers suspended from a horizontal beam. This device would serve as a barrier, intercepting rocks and preventing them from impeding the operation's progress. Through careful planning and teamwork, Rick and his colleagues embarked on a mission to enhance their mining operation, overcoming challenges and striving for success in their quest for gold. The fingers allow pay dirt and smaller rocks to pass through unhindered, ensuring a smooth flow of material into the processing plant. However, any larger rocks or debris rolling down the conveyor are intercepted by the fingers, preventing them from causing disruptions to the operation. These rocks are then captured and carried up to the plant, where they can be processed along with the pay dirt. Acknowledging the effectiveness of the proposed solution, Rick expressed his concern about the time required to implement it. Barry and Scott estimated that the construction process would likely take 4 to 5 hours, necessitating a temporary shutdown of the operation. Understanding the urgency of the situation, Rick requested a brief pause of 15-20 minutes to facilitate the installation of the finger trap. With the plan in place, Rick expressed his gratitude to the team for their efforts and cooperation. He recognized the importance of their collaboration in overcoming challenges and improving the efficiency of the mining operation. Barry and Scott were tasked with constructing the finger trap using salvaged scraps from Rick's boneyard, demonstrating resourcefulness and ingenuity in finding solutions to operational hurdles. With the construction of the finger trap complete, Rick and his team were ready to put their solution to the test. They gathered the necessary materials, including 4-inch square tubing, HSS, flat bars, and channel, ensuring that they had everything required to make the finger trap a success. With a sense of confidence and anticipation, Rick declared that their creation would indeed do the trick. As the team got to work assembling the finger trap, they worked efficiently and methodically, with each member contributing their skills and expertise. Rick reminded everyone to watch their hands and stay safe as they completed the final steps of the construction process. With the finger trap now installed and operational, Rick shut down the operation momentarily to allow for a quick inspection. Scott, who had been instrumental in the construction process, gave the finger trap a thorough examination and confirmed that it looked good and was ready for testing. With a sense of excitement, the team wasted no time in resuming operations, eager to see if their solution would yield the desired results. Rick wasted no time cranking up the processing speed to 300 yards per hour, eager to put the finger trap through its paces. As the conveyor belts whirred back to life and material began flowing through the system once more, anticipation filled the air. With the finger trap in place, Rick and his crew were poised to discover if they had struck high-grade pay dirt in the Raleigh Valley, a momentous occasion that would mark a significant milestone in their mining endeavors. The conversation turned to the